Hi, this is Alice Maggio, and I am the Berkshares coordinator. I'm here this morning with some of our new board members at Berkshares Inc., and I wanted to introduce them to you all. So, Brian, tell me how you came to the Berkshires and how you found out about Berkshares.
Let me give you a little bit of background. I'm obviously English, but my wife and I spent 30 years living in Atlanta, and I was in international business, mostly in telecommunications. I reached the stage where I could work over the internet, didn't need to be in Atlanta anymore, and in a single word, the reason we came to the Berkshires was music. My wife and I are both classical music addicts, and the first thing that attracted us was Tanglewood. But when we came up here to look around, we found out what a wonderful, vibrant region it was, so we decided to move here. We moved here a year and a half ago. Amongst the things that caught my attention when we first came here was Berkshares. I thought it was a fascinating idea as a means of stimulating the local economy, and that's what caused me to become interested in how the system worked and eventually led to me having some discussions which bring me onto the board.
Great. Well, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Brian, you come from a very traditional business background. How do you see how these things connect?
I am probably the ultimate out-and-out globalist. So people say, well, aren't Berkshares contrary to that view? And I explain, no, they're not, because the way I see it, first of all, we should all, and we all do, act in our own economic best interest, but we have to think of that economic interest in a broad sense. So the fundamental attraction of Berkshares to me is that it is a means of stimulating trade within the local economy without subsidies, without trade barriers, and without a cost to anyone until someone in the chain may decide to cash out. That to me seems a very attractive economic model. My first $100 worth of Berkshires that I bought are now scattered around the globe because in our first summer here in the Berkshires we had lots of visitors, and whenever I pulled out Berkshires and showed them to people, they were fascinated by this to the extent I said, just keep it. So we now have Berkshires spread around the south and over in England and even as far as Australia. So they're out there spreading the message.
Maybe they'll come visit the Berkshires sometime and spend them, right?
They'll come back.
When they come back to visit you.
To spend that money. There's one point I like to make. Obviously, I'm fairly new here, but having looked at the local economy, what I can see is that over the last 40 years there have been huge challenges to the manufacturing economy here in the Berkshires, and most of those big companies have gone. So we're now faced with the need to stimulate the economy here without the presence of those large companies. And it seems to me that Berkshares, which stimulate business between local companies, is a great way of encouraging and promoting the many local companies that we're all looking to fill the gaps that were left by the large manufacturing companies of previous years.
That's the multiplier effect.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming.